What's up, guys? Welcome to another YouTube video. As you know, my name is Rocky Smith, and of course, this is my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to steer off into the peptide space. Yes, still going to be mindset, but as you guys know, I'm a peptide performance coach. Majority of my clients have been making tons of transformations on that. Give me a follow on Instagram and on TikTok, Rocky.era, to see some of those transformations and to go a little in depth on some of these peptides and their pros and cons. I myself am on my peptide journey. I am on week 2 of CJC 1295. I have included BPC 157. So just a little backstory: CJC 195, 1295 with DAC. This is going to be a GHRH, gross hormone releasing hormone. Basically sends a signal to my pituitary gland to release more growth hormone, which it's gonna help me build more lean muscle mass, help make me stronger, improve my skin, my eyes, literally everything that synthetic growth hormone does. This is gonna do that, except we're not gonna be injecting any synthetic growth hormone. Now, again, with the with DAC version, I decided to go that route because I didn't want to jab myself 3, 4, 7 times a day. I only wanted to do it 1 to 2 times a week, which is what I'm doing with DAC. Also with that, I am eating a whole lot more. Like my appetite, like I've literally had 5 meals today and it is 3:27. Like I'm eating like no other, which is great because I'm bulking 25, 30 pounds. And I've also stacked this with BPC 157. So BPC 157, as you know, is going to be your healing agent. Do I have any major injuries? No. I wish I knew about peptides when I got into well, not this. Well, this was a motorcycle accident back in Thailand. But I have a pretty bad motorcycle accident on my knee where I shattered my knee, ripped all the skin on my right side. It was pretty bad. But I'm using BPC 157 not for the not to heal any wounds or anything, but for overall health and like recovery. Because now that I am doing the CJC and I'm also doing Enclomephene, I'm literally training 7 times a day. Like that's just how I've trained. I've always trained 6 to 7 times a week. Sorry, I've always trained 6 to 7 times a week, my entire life. I'm always sore. Yes. My muscles need time to recover? 100%. But I just love working out. Like I just love training. Now some days are more tough. Some days are more difficult than others. Sometimes I have days where I just stretch, or I just do cardio, or I do core, or something like that. But I go 7 days a week, and that's why I've done BBC 157 because I wanted to help with recovery and inflammation, things of that sort. And then last but not least, what this video is going to be about is going to be enclomiphene. I've included enclomiphene in my stack. Now, I did blood work before I just did any of these peptides, as you should also. That's a responsible thing to do, is to get blood work. Now, my testosterone levels are at 880. So I have pretty high testosterone, but again, you get high testosterone. Well, it's a genetic thing also. Let's not forget that. But also how you sleep, how you eat, the way you stress, if you're drinking a bunch of alcohol, are you training? Like, there's a bunch of different things that go into your testosterone being what it is. But again, a huge factor is also genetics. Now, my levels are at 880. I'm expecting by the time I'm done with enclomiphene, I plan to do about a 10 to 12 week cycle of it. I plan for my levels to be about 1100, 1200. I've only been on enclomiphene for 1 week. And I've been doing peptides for 2 weeks. Now my clients have been doing peptides for a while. I've been, providing that to my clients, Retta, trizepatide, whenever that was, a thing a few years ago. But this is what I've been providing for my clients. Now, the topic of this video, sorry, I went on a little ramble, and I can do that sometimes. I get really passionate when it comes to this stuff. The topic of this video is, should you do enclomiphene or should you just do TRT? So first, I'll start by saying this is nothing against anyone who does TRT, nothing against anyone who does testosterone, nothing at all. I got a lot of friends who do it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm on the verge of possibly doing it soon. Can you expect the same outcome of enclomiphene as, let's say, doing 250 a week on test? Can you expect? Definitely not. Okay. Are you going to build the mass that you're going to build on TRT? Definitely not. Are you going to have increased energy and are you going to build more muscle than naturally? Yes, 100%. Now, here's the thing when it comes to enclomiphene. Enclomiphene is not only going to boost your testosterone, but it's also going to boost your estrogen. All right. Now, if you're doing very high doses, your estrogen is going to shoot up even higher. And the problem with that is you're going to deal with side effects. Nothing on this world is side effect free. The side effect of enclomiphene is you're going to deal with gyno, possibly deal with gyno. You're going to deal with mood swings, irritability. One of the bigger ones that I've found out is the longer you're on it, the more it affects your eyesight. And I've also had a few friends who have had, who've said that they've had uncomfort in their testicles, their balls hurt. I don't know how true that is. I guess we'll find out in the next few weeks, but they said their balls hurt. And then, obviously with enclomiphene, your testosterone is going to increase, but so does your sperm count. So a lot of people do TRT with enclomiphene. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of people use enclomiphene to cycle off of TRT and go to the enclomiphene side. TRT is going to be basically lowering your sperm count. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have kids. Obviously, you can have kids and be on TRT. Everyone's body is different. And again, it goes to your genetics. Some people naturally have a low sperm count. So them doing testosterone is going to lower that even more. But obviously, you can do things like HCG, Clomid, things of that sort that will offset that and allow you to continue to be able to produce and have the ability and be fertile. We'll say that. Now, when it comes to unclomiphene, the longer you do it, the longer you do it at a high dose. So the longer you do it, you're not going to really be able to stay at the same dose and get the same impact the longer you're on it. The longer you're on it, you're going to have to increase that dose. And the higher that dose, the longer you're on it, the less impact it really has on you. So it's going to get to a point to where your levels are going to get up here with enclomiphene, but it's going to stay there. It's going to start to drop and start to get a little lower because your body your receptors get desensitized to it because of the usage and the duration that you're on it. So should you do enclomiphene or should you do your TRT? It's really dependent on your goals. Again, TRT is not abusing steroids. TRT doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to have kids. TRT doesn't mean that you're going to lose hair. It doesn't mean you're going to lose sight. It doesn't mean your blood pressure is going to be through the roof. What depicts all of that, what dictates all of that is going to be how you use it. Are you actually using TRT doses or are you full sending, blasting it, trying to get Mr. Olympia Jack? That's really what it all boils down to. But the base of this is if you are considering it, then you need to you need to get blood work. You get blood work and you need to know what your levels are, not just your testosterone levels, but also your estrogen levels. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing CJG 1295, enclomiphene, BPC 157, and I'll be adding a few other peptides here soon or not. I may get off of enclomiphene. We'll see in the next 4 or 5 weeks. I'm going to get blood work again just to see how I feel. But off of the research that I've done on the people that I've talked to, I can honestly say if you're going to go the enclomiphene route, I would just do TRT. At this point, that may be the route that I may venture into. Like I said, I am bulking up about 25 more pounds, so that might make the most sense. Biggest thing, like I said, just do your research, do your homework. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It wasn't really long, and like I said, it's not like all my other videos. Other videos are about mindset, masculinity, grabbing your balls, taking control of your life, but peptides is going to help you do that. Let's not be ignorant to what's going on around us. Like the less you know, the more you get left behind. The less you know, the further behind you get left. All right. So don't be that person. Take advantage of it. Educate yourself. Educate the people around you, and take control of your life. I love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment, message. Find me on all platforms, Rocky.era. Like I said, I'm going to keep this content coming. My service to you is the rent that I pay on this earth. See you guys.